On our broadcast tonight, a special report from Education Nation takes us to Raleigh, North Carolina, where a group of young students give it an old college try while exploring careers. And later, from the same report, what makes that decision so difficult for America's youth in their transition to college? Our chief education correspondent, John Stewart, has the report from Raleigh. Finally, our Making the Difference segment joins us with Tracy DeTucci, a young woman who knows the challenges of finding the right place in life all too well. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC World Headquarters in New York, this is a special edition of NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
It's an all too familiar tale of parents sending their kids off to college, not knowing what they'll major in. Tonight, John Stewart, our chief education correspondent, has the story.
Students here at NC State are known as some of the best and the brightest. We explored one college in particular known as the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, or locally known as CHAS. Our goal is to find out what the college offers by asking professors and former students what they know about the diversity of the program, as well as some of the majors offered inside of it.
So starting off, what was your major in college? What did you focus on right now?
Okay, that's a very interesting question because I'm a history professor, but as an undergrad, I majored in history and international studies, and I studied law, economics, international relations, and history, so all kinds of things. And I studied in a specific university where you could do that. I'm French, and I studied in France for my undergrad studies. And so I really picked this university because I didn't have to choose a specific major before the last year of my BA.
Wow, awesome. Just going into CHAS a little bit, what types of careers are available when you study history and international studies, besides obviously being a professor?
Okay, so lots of things. We have in the history department here a very good program of public history. So you could be a professor, but you could also be a public historian, working in archives, private, public, working in a museum, being a curator for exhibitions. So lots of very interesting things, very related to the historical profession. But then I think more broadly, the critical thinking skills that you develop as a history major or an international studies major can help you get a job in other fields as well. So in the private sector, human resources, NGOs, obviously for international studies major, international organizations, so all kind of things. It's really very open.
Well, you basically just answered my next question about it being a diverse college. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. Am I right about being study abroad opportunities and things like that?
Yeah, exactly. So the study abroad program is a requirement for international studies major, and it's a very big part of their experience in the college. So very often that's a life-changing experience. This was the case for me. I spent an entire year in Lebanon when I was 20, so in my second year at university. And again, I studied in France, but the college here and the international studies program is very much based on the same kind of concept. So very often it's a life-changing experience in the sense that students discover the kind of jobs that they would like to do. They encounter a completely different culture. It's very enriching, and very often they build on that for the following, for what they will do next with their studies and with their lives.
Fantastic.
Hey, sir. Sir. Sir, no! Sir! No, sir, come back. I want to ask you some questions.
Our own chief education correspondent, John Stewart, reporting live from Raleigh, North Carolina. Our next and final story is Making a Difference here on NBC Nightly News. We sat down with Tracy DeTucci, a young woman who majored in a CHAS field who's on a journey of a lifetime. I sat down with her personally for a nice interview. Here's the story. Tonight joining us is Tracy DeTucci, who graduated from North Carolina State University with a major in international studies and minors in nonprofits. Tracy, good evening. So what kind of opportunities are these?
Well, I spent my first year studying advertising and marketing, but I decided it was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
So what changed your mind about CHAS?
There are just so many opportunities there on campus, so many clubs and organizations like the International Studies Club, the Spanish Club, and so many more, which can really help guide you to find out what your passion is. I learned about so many things that I didn't even realize were an option before. Becoming more aware of the nonprofit field in general helped me discover my true interests and the work I wanted to do.
Well, that's perfect. Walk us through how one changes their major at NC State.
There are a lot of resources here which make it easier to know what you need to do to switch your major, actually. By using CODA online, I was able to see which courses were prerequisites for the majors I was thinking about pursuing. For most majors, there's a prerequisite class that you have to take beforehand. For example, for my major, I had to have taken the class IS 200, which is International Studies 200. And I know that for social work, for example, one must take Social Work 201 and attain a grade of a B- or better.
A lot of people believe that the humanity majors are less practical and not an easy place to find a job in because there aren't as many concrete and technical as something like engineering, for example. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that is something I heard from quite a few people actually. But I know that there's opportunity in this field because of all the experience I have had through all of my international trips and studies. The nonprofit studies minor prepared me to think ethically about how my actions, both as an individual and as a representative of an organization, affect those you're trying to serve. So I found that we tend to make our own opportunity by taking an active part in our lives. I participated a lot in CSLEPs here on campus and did ethnographic fieldwork in Guatemala. And so actually, I've been very, very fortunate with the opportunities I've had coming out of college.
And so we have been told that you are hired by EPAS, a Chapel Hill-based nonprofit that addresses women's health and reproductive rights internationally. Is that correct?
Yes, and I absolutely love it. Currently, I am organizing a capacity building workshop to be held in Ghana in early 2014.
Tracy DeTucci joining us live from our Raleigh studio. Thank you, Tracy. That's our broadcast tonight. Thanks for joining us here on this special edition of NBC Nightly News. I'm Brian Williams. We hope to see you back here on our regular broadcast during the week. Good night.